Hello everyone, Kaoz here, and welcome to another old school Runescape video. Boys and girls, when I ask you what the worst update in the history of old school Runescape is, what comes to mind first? To me personally, the PvP arena is potentially the winner. At first it seemed like a way to slowly improve at PvP with a matchmaking system, but if you look at it now, well, yeah. Whatever your answer was, there's a big chance that a concept coming to the game by the name of Fresh Start Worlds may beat it by a long shot. If you don't even know what that is, and to be honest, I wouldn't even blame you if you didn't, today we are going to talk about this quote-unquote new game mode coming this Wednesday, and how lackluster it seems because of one particular reason. My only disclaimer for this video is that some people may need to have their copium mask nearby, as I will talk about what RuneScape 3 did regarding their version of a Fresh Start World. I will do this to give you some context as to how they made it appealing for new and existing players, and then compare it to OSRS. Before we continue very quickly, I cover some of these updates on my channel every now and then, so if you like these, a subscription would be really appreciated, and you can also join our Discord with the link in the description to talk about it. So, let's begin. Alright, so first things first, what are Fresh Start Worlds? This will be a somewhat new game mode coming to OSRS, and the RuneScape 3 version of this game mode was released on the 12th of September. Where only brand new member accounts were able to join, and after 6 months, all accounts in the servers will be moved back to the main game. The idea behind this is to experience your favorite MMO as if it was a brand new game all over again, since the servers will feature a fresh economy and everyone will start from nothing. So far, it sounds like Leagues but with the Iron Man concept removed, right? Well, strap in because this is putting it very, very mildly. In RuneScape 3, Fresh Start Worlds will last for 6 months, but for the first 8 weeks, players will be competing to achieve top 100 in all skills. And of course for other achievements like a World First 199, a 120, a Quest Cape, and of course a maxed cape. For the duration of the event, you will get accelerated experience depending on how long the game mode has been active. And during this period, you will be able to achieve progress points based on, well, your progress. You will achieve points by normally progressing through the game like leveling up, completing quests, and of course achievement diaries. By doing so, these progress points will give you access to a special reward shop in the game. The interesting part about this is that the shop features 2 types of rewards. Special benefits that will aid your account only on Fresh Start Worlds, like unlimited run energy, increased percentage to obtain scaling pets, increased HP and prayer regeneration, and much more. So far, nothing too bad, right? Well, the controversial part comes when we talk about the other part of the shop, which features rewards you will be able to trade once your Fresh Start account makes it back to the main game, and this is what raised so many red flags. This shop features things like a pet, hybrid armor, hybrid weapons, and inverted skill capes, just to name a few. The most interesting items are called halos, and these will be not only for your character, but also for your pet given that you have it in the main game. The character ones are called halos and will be obtained when you achieve either a top 100 in a given skill or achieve a world first. You also have pet halos, which are obtained by getting the respective pet in Fresh Start Worlds, and also a halo for returning obtained via the halo hunt. Now, if you don't already see a problem with this, well, let's talk about why it is a weird addition to the game, and why something like this would never make it into old school RuneScape. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not upset by it, but this pretty much goes against what OSRS mods have been talking about for years. In a way that most of them and the community agree that tradable discontinued items are not really healthy for the game. And we can confirm this because the League's rewards are all tradable, but everyone can obtain any previous item by just playing any future League. The main problem with this, as most of you have already caught up by now, is that this will create a FOMO effect. Or, for those of you who don't know what that is, this means fear of missing out. Where Jagex is banking on the fact that people will play this game mode just to get their tradable discontinued items for themselves, or to sell them later for a big profit. It is my honest opinion that instead of attracting brand new or even returning players, this will mostly be played by people who are already spending hundreds of hours in the game, and will just hop onto this game mode in order to profit for the future. Now, if you thought that was bad, well, it gets even worse. So far, the quote-unquote bad thing about this is that it will require a new member account to play, and that this game mode will basically inject new tradable discontinued items in the game. But that's not all. What got a lot of flame in this update is that Jagex made it so both Bonds and Treasure Hunter will be enabled on Fresh Start Worlds. Specifically, Treasure Hunter will be enabled after the 8-week competitive period has ended, and after that, you will be able to buy keys with real money to then open and gain bonus or raw experience for your character. So from an outside perspective, this sounds like a really cool idea. Get back to the game you haven't played for years with accelerated experience so you can earn rewards, and then get your account back to the main game after 6 months with all of your progress. If you look at it close enough though, this sounds like nothing but a cash grab while taking advantage of the FOMO factor. For people to play this for up to 2 or even 6 months, and then take tradable discontinued items back into the main game in Runescape 3. Now, before we get into old school Runescape, I want to make it very clear that I am not crying about this, as even if this is added to OSRS with whatever changes, I will most likely not play it and I won't go after anything they offer. So, I'm done talking about Runescape 3 for now, but how does this tie into OSRS and what's their plan for this update? So, let's get right into that one. I'll leave a link in the description to what I'm going to talk about here, as I will summarize a lot of the important information. If you don't trust any links, which is my case, you can go to the OSRS website to check it out. One of the positive changes for this game mode in Old School is that it's also going to be open to free-to-play accounts for you to decide if you want to continue to member worlds. When you create an account, you will be able to select this new game mode for the duration of the event at the end of Tutorial Island. Just like the League's game mode, Fresh Start Worlds will offer an achievement system where your score will increase according to certain actions you do, like gain levels, achieving a 99, gaining quest points, and much more. You will be able to see your total achievement points in a part of the interface, much like you were able to do during Leagues. Fresh Start Worlds will also feature a world-first system, again, like in the League's game mode. That will give people a ton of bragging rights for being the first one to reach a specific milestone, like a boss kill, completing a diary or a combat achievement, and even being the first to claim an iconic item such as the blowpipe, a whip, or a bandit's armor. Another cool addition is that you don't really need to pay for membership, as you will be able to redeem a bond in the main game and then turn it into a passcode you can use on your Fresh Start World account. So if you really want to give this a try, you don't really have to pay $13 a month, and you can instead pay with OSRS GP. This kinda makes sense because if you are going to be mostly focused on here, your main game gold may serve an additional purpose as you AFK in that one. Now, should you decide that Fresh Start World isn't for you, there will be a way to opt out. This means that your new account will be taken back to the main game and you can then play as normal. Just keep in mind that this is going to be irreversible. When you opt out, the account will be frozen in the high scores and you will no longer be able to access this game mode. After 6 months, every single account will be forced back into the main game and will take all of their levels, items, and gold with them and continue their adventure in the real old school RuneScape. And, well, that's about it. As you probably noticed, I didn't mention anything about rewards, and on the other hand, if you play RuneScape 3 Fresh Start Worlds, people are mostly doing it for the valuable items they can take back to the main game. But why not an old school RuneScape? Here's where I'm personally against this update, and it's simply because other than recognition for a world first or even the top rank in the high scores, once all of it is gone, there's literally nothing to remind you of your achievements. Now, it's one thing to have an untradeable item for that account like we have, for example, for League 3 trophies, and I am by no means saying that old school RuneScape should get tradable discontinued items like we will get in RuneScape 3. But if you really think about it, even for new players, this honestly sounds like a waste of time. I mean, if you really think about it, people will actually be at a huge disadvantage by joining this world instead of the main game. As just one quick example, imagine you have a new account and you want to train fletching. In the main game, logs are pretty cheap and you can get high levels with a moderate amount of GP. In Fresh Start Worlds, there's not going to be as many of them around, and they will either be more expensive or you will have to grind them yourself. Some of you may call me out and say that, well, this is exactly what the concept of this game mode is for, and I would totally be down to give it a try, at least for a participation token if there was one. However, I wouldn't really stick to it long term. I asked Mod if there was even the smallest possibility of adding something that might encourage existing players to give it a go, and she said that chances are actually fairly slim because of the idea that discontinued tradable items do not truly belong to OSRS for you to give a token to your main account. If you don't remember, when Leagues was first introduced in the form of the Twisted League, players were asked if the previous rewards should all be available for purchase with League points, which the vast majority of players agreed upon. The reason for this, like we said before, is FOMO. If you make Leagues reward time-locked, it will pressure players into either playing the game mode or paying tons of cash for an item you can no longer get. This is sort of the concept with trophies, but since they are untradeable, this is not as bad. As for my final thoughts regarding the opening statement and the title of the video, do I truly think this is the worst update in the history of the game? Well, yes and no. I'll start with no and say that we've definitely had worse things added to the game which are either broken or become irrelevant quite quick. Bounty Hunter exploits. But the reason why I think it may be one of the worst is that although it probably didn't need that much development time, this definitely feels like something they added just to try to get more memberships or bonds out of people. When the end result will get you nothing but bragging rights, and that's about it. Just literally not even a lousy trophy. As it is, this honestly seems like something people will play just for bragging rights or even probably for a YouTube series. But for an existing player, there's literally no incentive, and to be quite honest, it's even worse for new ones. To close out the video, I hope this didn't sound too pessimistic or like I was shitting up the update and telling you not to try it, but in my very personal opinion, it just sounds too useless to get into even if you want a quote-unquote fresh start. I mean, if you really want to feel that, you might as well play either solo or group Ironman, and then forget about the economy since you still need to get everything on your own. In the comments below, I want you guys to tell me what you think of this update. Like I showed you before, here's a poll I ran to ask about your opinion, and as you can see the response is overwhelmingly negative. And more people don't even know what Fresh Start Worlds is when we compare it to the people who are going to play it. As I told you before, today we were going to get a video about the best RuneLite plugins, but I will have to push it a little bit further back because we have some absolute bangers coming soon. I want to give a massive thank you to all my channel members. You boys and girls have no idea how much your support means to me, and it really does go a long way. If you want to support this channel further, you can click the join button below to join this list of legends and get a bunch of perks for your pledge in the videos, in the live streams, and of course in the Discord. In the next one, I will have an absolute monster of a video where we will combine as many money-making methods as possible for you to never struggle with cash ever again. I hope you're as excited for it as I am, but for now, I hope you have a great week, and I will see you then. Peace.